How much passive income are you making?
Yeah, making close to 60,000 a month.
What advice would you give young people when it comes to passive income?
As long as you're able to beat the inflation, that means you're making the passive income. So we were getting stocks at 15% discount,
What's the multiple that you made?
close to 2x. Yeah.
My team told me that you have traveled to over 10 countries. So, what do you do right now professionally?
Professionally, I'm a stayer.
In today's episode, we have Sushmita, who is a 1% Club community member, and we'll dive deep into some of her smartest financial moves. We'll explore how she managed to save 10 lakhs in taxes, her strategies for generating 60,000 in passive income each month, and the clever ways she's used her credit cards to travel to 10 different countries. Stay tuned as we break down these strategies and learn how you can apply them to your own financial journey.
So, what do you do right now professionally?
Professionally, I'm a stay-at-home mom.
So, you're a stay at home mom, you're saying you're not working, and you've achieved financial independence. I'm sure there's a story here. So, I really want to know what has been your career journey. So, walk me through. Tell me what was your first job, which year it was, and what was your salary, and then what company did you go to after that, and so on and so on.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Actually, I was 19 when I first started working. I used to
Okay.
take dance classes and earn about 2.5, 3K a month. And 1.5 years later, I got an internship which paid me a stipend of 15K a month.
Where did you get this?
It's called
internship?
National Instruments.
Okay.
So the same company also converted me into a full-time employee.
And what did the salary package that they offered?
It started off with about 9 to 10 lakh CTC.
You started with 10 lakh. So when you left, what was your salary
It
component?
was close to 25 lakh CTC.
Wow.
Then apart from that, we also had RSUs coming into picture. So we
Okay.
were getting stocks at 15% discount.
What's the multiple that you made with this RSU?
I think
2x, 3x.
close to 2x. Yeah, because my company got acquired last year. That is when the stock price rose.
Would you say that is a major contributor to your current net worth today?
Definitely, because a lot of things clicked for me around that time. This one, and I got some amount of gratuity when I quit. Out of all the money that I was able to avail from the company with the RSUs and the gratuity, I was able to kind of segregate it into FDs, some debt funds, and equity. Right.
So the wealth that you accumulated because of RSU, this you have allocated it in different instruments.
Correct. This I've
Okay.
allocated into different instruments. And again, FDs, I chose some small finance banks, right?
Okay.
Which is going to give good like 8 to 9% of interest, unlike other banks, which is lower in interest, right? So that I'm getting about 10,000 a month, and for the remaining amount of passive income, so whatever I have in debt and equity, right, I have pledged it. So it becomes a collateral for the future and options. And like I said, I've met some like-minded people, experts who are helping me manage the trading, and I'm making the rest of the passive income.
Sushmita, you spoke about your passive income, right? Can you tell us approximately in a month how much passive income are you making?
Yeah, making close to 60,000 a month.
So around 60,000 per month. How do you spend it? How does your expenses look like?
Actually, it's quite minimal. So I think large portion goes into the family expenses.
Like?
And family expenses like say groceries or things that my family needs, clothes and stuff like that. And for myself, it's just the regular stuff like maybe traveling here and there, like some entertainment and stuff like that. So I don't really otherwise spendthrift. And even in that 60,000, I'm ensuring that I put some SIPs. So again, I'm trying to do that.
Okay.
Managing that 60,000 also into some investments again, and also using it for leisure and other expenses.
So you're like full on saving, investing mode.
Yes.
Like no faltu kharcha, like I will spend on what is absolutely needed and what I want for
I
myself.
do a little bit of faltu kharcha also.
That's what I want, I will spend.
Yes.
But then I'll also make sure I'm saving.
Yes.
Now, can you tell us how you have allocated your money? So what does your asset allocation look like?
Currently, it's about 25% in real estate, 25 debt, about 13 gold, and 20 in equity. These are like approximate numbers.
So you said 25 in real estate. So what kind of properties are we talking about here? Is it residential, commercial?
It's residential only.
Okay.
So we bought a residential plot in 2017.
Where?
In Bangalore only.
Which area in Bangalore? North?
It is BTM, like near Banavata Road.
So it's a pretty prime location then.
Back then it wasn't. Like in 2017, it was still like, it was actually in litigation. So, and then it just suddenly opened up and we bought. We were staying close by and then, we bought it. And this was a joint property between me and my husband.
I'm sorry, this is the land, right? We're talking about land.
Land, yes.
Okay.
A plot, yes, residential plot. And we, for about 70-80% of its value, we took a loan from the bank. And we took a decision to take a loan because we thought, okay, in 3.54 years, we will be able to kind of close the loan. But I think we were able to close it a little earlier as only by 2.5.
Oh, it's all closed.
It's all closed.
Done.
Yes,
okay.
yes. We even sold the property a few months ago, and excluding of all of the taxes and interest that we needed to pay, we've made about 7-8% year on year. So whatever proceedings we got from the real estate, we want to put it back again to real estate because that segregation, that asset allocation and segregation is there.
Perfect. So is it, do you all have plans to explore commercial or is it still going to be residential?
I think it's residential only because it makes sense because you will be able to save taxes because of you have this capital gains account, right? So if you sell a residential plot, you don't need to pay taxes for the capital gains that you make out of it if you put that profit back again to the residential plot. So I think in that sense,
I think within 2 years, if you buy another property, you're not taxed on that.
Exactly. Exactly. You're not taxed on that. So in that sense, I think it was a better choice for us to like look into residential plots again.
How much tax did you save?
I think this coming financial year actually will be about saving about 10 lakh, both me and my husband put together. It's because we had sold off a property and instead of paying taxes for the capital gains that we got from the property, we put it in a capital gains account, right? So that is what we did, and we were able to save significant taxes. And the other thing was the HUF.
So HUF, Hindu Undivided Family, right?
Yes.
Can you explain to us what it is?
Yeah, if you as a family, form an HUF, then it's like, your family is getting another PAN, basically, to put it in simple terms.
So it's like another family member.
It's another family member, to put it in very simple terms, right? So that means whatever ATC benefits that you can avail as an individual, you can also claim as an HUF, as a family. So that is where, some amount of taxes we were able to save from that as well.
And I think you said 30% is in gold, which is the highest.
Yeah.
So can you touch upon that? Like why gold? And when you say gold, what do you mean? Is it gold jewelry or SGB or gold plates?
Everything put together.
Okay. With your jewelry, everything combined?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything put together. I think, like I said, early on in my career, the only exposure I had was FDs, RDs, and gold. Okay. So that is all I knew. So I knew that, gold has a better, it grows better compared to FDs and RDs. So I kind of invested more on it. So back then I bought it at 3K per gram, and now it is more than double, right?
Yeah.
So although I did not recently of late invest in any of it, but because of the fact that it grew so much, the percentage of my assets that have been allocated in gold is high.
Okay. So you bought it many years ago.
Like, when I started, like even some amount of my internship money is also gone into gold, right? Back then it was 2.5, 3K, that's it. So now it is almost 7, right? Because of that, it's...
Invested it many years ago, did not touch it, it just grew, and that's why it has the largest portion in your asset allocation.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Interesting. My team told me that you have traveled to over 10 countries already.
Yes.
So how did you make that happen? Like, I think main thing I want to know, or even our viewers would want to know, how did you budget it? Like, how did you manage your finances, and how did you make this happen for yourself?
Right. I guess both my husband and I love traveling. So we utilized about 40-50% of the funds came from the points that we'd accumulated in the credit card. And I think back then we had this Diners Black credit card from HDFC, and they had this amazing reward point system, right? In many major online platforms, they were giving us 30 points for every 100 rupees spent. So what we did was like to time big budget expenses through different months, so that we will be able to hit that maximum number of points that can be availed on that credit card. And we utilize those points to book the flight and the hotel expenses, which are actually major when it comes to international destinations. And that way we were able to cover about 5-6 countries just like that.
Okay, so what I'm understanding right now is credit card was your best friend to make all your travel dreams come true. So your husband, I'm assuming you all made some smart decisions when it comes to accumulating points, etc. That helped you all with flight bookings and hotel bookings, right?
Yeah.
I want you to tell our viewers some hacks that they can learn from you so that they can utilize it for their next travel.
The first and foremost is to try to figure out what online platforms are giving you the maximum benefit. Some online platforms just give 10 points for every 100 rupees, and some might give you 20-30 points for every 100 rupees spent. So the first thing is to figure out what are these platforms which are giving you maximum points.
Can you give examples of these platforms that you're talking about?
It could be just Amazon, Flipkart, or Zomato, or anything, Blinkit, anything like that. Wherever you're going to be able to spend the money through the credit card is what I'm talking about here.
Got it. Do you think you could give us some investment tips for everyone who's watching?
Definitely. So yeah, I think start early. Don't be like me. I started very late. Start from the time you get money and you're employed, right? So when you start early, because of the power of compounding, you'll obviously be able to reap better rewards and benefits. I think the second I would say is please keep learning, right? Finance world, I believe, is kind of evolving. There are new things that keep coming. So keep learning and then keep managing your finances accordingly and get better benefits. And management of risk. Don't put all your eggs in a single basket. You will have to segregate and allocate it into different assets. And finally, be patient. It's never about making quick money, right? It's about making the right choices and believing in the process, so that basis your goals, you are able to make benefit out of the investments that you've made.
And what advice would you give young people when it comes to passive income?
Yeah, passive income. So obviously you will not be, it might be a little difficult to do that in the beginning of the career, but once you have significant amount with you, start thinking about those streams, right? Again, that's when the money management really kind of helps, because that will give you a good idea of how much money you're able to make with the investments that you have. And as long as you're able to beat the inflation, that means you're making the passive income.
Perfect. Sushmita, thank you so much once again for coming here, sharing your story. I'm sure a lot of viewers would have found it so helpful. And, your pointers about RSU, credit card hacks, I learned a lot. And I hope everyone who's watching would also learn and leverage this and live the life that they want, just the way that you're doing.
Thank you so much, Shreya. It was a pleasure being part of One Person Club so far, and also being able to come here. And like you said, if it's helped the viewers, then I'm really happy.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and comment down below about what you think about today's episode. And I'll see you in the next one.